football spotlight, the kickoff broadcast for the Warriors football program. And I'm here with head coach Joe Sindoni. Coach, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm
Thanks for
well.
having us in.
Absolutely. Here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We're here every month at Avicolli's with Liverpool and 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York. Right down the road from the high school. You can walk here for a slice of pizza from the high school. So, Coach, you've seen 3 sets of gentlemen sit here with me tonight. Your assessment?
I thought they did okay.
Yeah?
I thought they did okay. A couple of them were a little hurtful when they had to think really hard about saying something nice about their coach. But other than that, I thought they did all right. They're all good kids.
And for you and I were talking about this off the air, a lot of new faces, the opportunity. You came in new last year to this school, and now this team has the newness to it. So being a coach going into year 2 with the opportunity of this truly being a new look for you, how can this be helpful for a second-year coach at Liverpool? I mean, you've coached for a long time, but for year number 2 here, how can this be a good thing to have so many new faces?
I think one of the things that we're trying to do here is change the culture.
Yeah.
Change it, not that it was good or bad where it was before, but change it to what we want it to be. And having as much turnover as we had, honestly, expedites that. We have so many new kids, either young or inexperienced, that it's a lot. The transition into what we want culturally has been much quicker than I thought it would be.
So when you're a coach coming in last year, and like I said, you have so many new faces this year, when you're trying to change a culture, to me, I would think that this kind of sets you up to do that, because you said it's been positive.
Very.
So it seems like when you're trying to change a culture, when you have a lot left over from a past era, it can be hard to bridge the gap. So
Sure.
For you, like you said, culture's going well. I would imagine it's because these guys are new to it as you are new to Liverpool.
Yep. I mean, it's humans in general are creatures of habit, and the more people that you have that are used to doing things a different way,
Yeah.
the harder it is to change that. And that's anything. That could be in the workplace, that could be anywhere. But we have so many, like I said, new and inexperienced kids and young kids that are excited about being in the program, that they really took to how we wanted to do things starting in November in the weight room. And that's really where we've started to build this thing. And we've gotten it to a point where we're getting almost, we have this fantastic facility at Liverpool,
Yeah.
and we're almost getting too many kids to fit in there at once.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, and you and I were talking about this off the air, the facilities look like a college
Sure
when
do.
you go to Liverpool High School.
Absolutely.
Just what that means to you to have so many unique pieces at your disposal that a lot of high schools can't boast of.
I mean, it certainly plays a factor. Having that great weight facility, having a track right off of that we can use is fantastic. But I mean, honestly, I'll give a shout out to Ari Lieberman, because really having an athletic director that gets it
Yeah.
is what makes it go. Understanding football like he does, he's been great in helping us use those facilities and get access to them, and be as good as we can be. So that's a big part of it too, that often goes overlooked.
Yeah, you talk about that with Ari. I mean, him and I were sitting here last month with Dan Henner, the superintendent, and when we had the opportunity to all sit together and speak on the leadership side of things here in the Liverpool Central School District, there's a lot to be said about people who want for and they care about.
Yep.
And I got to meet Dan when he was the deputy superintendent. He worked his way up, and got to speak with Ari for many years now about what Liverpool is and what it's becoming. And so to me, I think, like you said, it starts at the leadership side of things, and it starts in the community wanting to actually have people that desire for positive growth, but at the same time are willing to work toward it and put a plan together, because anybody can have the dream, but the goals have to be there, the plan has to be in place. And sitting here with Dan and Ari, it sounds like 2 gentlemen that really do want to see something happen.
No two ways about it. I'm glad you mentioned Mr. Henner. I mean, he has been as involved and supportive as I can imagine a superintendent being. He's just gone out of his way since I've been here to make me feel welcome and just to say, look, we want you to be successful. We believe in the things you believe in, and we want to support that. And it doesn't happen everywhere.
Yeah.
And so when you have that, I think it certainly makes it easier to do the things that we want to do to try and get the program where everybody wants it to be.
And for you, this program right now in this moment, as you work toward and practice toward and lift toward and run toward this 2023 season, how do you feel about where this program is heading under your tutelage?
This has been a great offseason. We have a group of kids that honestly, I've been around some hardworking kids in other places I've been. This group of kids has bought in completely. They've worked. And we have a lot of young kids that are coming and being involved. Guys that are going into 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade have been regulars at our lifts for 6 months.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel good about where we're going. Having said that, we returned 2 starters out of 22 spots. So there's a lot of opportunity there, and there's a lot of inexperience there. That's our biggest challenge, to overcome that. But in terms of where the culture of the program is, and I'm very happy with the direction that we're headed. We're never going to be all the way where we want to be, right? We're always going to strive, but I'm very pleased with where we are at this point.
And you talk about this team and the culture and where it's at. Tonight we got to hear from numerous student athletes. We got to hear from your son John. We got to hear from Ny-Quez, as well as Seth and Jace. And of course, most recently here, we heard from Isaiah and Joey. Mm-hmm. What did you take away from their answers, their thoughts, and when they did, kind of have to think through those questions that came about the team?
Well, first, I'm mildly pleased my son was able to put a multi-word sentence together. At home, I get a series of grunts.
Okay.
One of the things that was pretty clear with Seth and Jace and with Joey and Isaiah is that those guys are best friends. And that's kind of why I wanted you to take them. And it's just clear to see, especially with Isaiah and Joey, the way they play off of each other. And those things have been fun to watch and kind of goof around with those guys. And they bust each other back and forth. But they're all great kids. They're nice kids. They're hardworking kids. And they're respectful kids. So it makes them fun to coach.
And you've had over a year's time with Liverpool here from last season to this season. As you reflect on what it means to be a Warrior and be in this community, what would you say now?
I think I've probably spent as much time at the school as most of the teachers in the last year. Yeah. I have to say this. I've been just pleasantly surprised with the whole thing, the school administration, the kids. You think you know the way something's going to be, and then you get in there, and honestly, it's been great. And I'm kind of a transplant here,
yeah.
But I'm starting to feel like I'm a Liverpool guy.
Yeah. How's it feel? Feel good?
It's good. It's good. I like that Avicolli's is 100 yards away.
Yeah, it's very nice.
That's probably not good for me, but I like that it's that close.
You introduced me to one of their pizzas that I've never had here.
The Granny's Pizza.
And the Granny's is remarkable. That slice has been saved for me after the show, and I've had to stare at it while I'm talking with these guys. Before we get into rapid fire here, I want to shout out your daughter because she's become a photographer of sorts here for the team.
Yep.
So let's show her some love here.
So my daughter Juliana, John's twin sister, tore her ACL playing basketball in November and had surgery to have it repaired and hasn't been able to do anything since then. So she said, I want to get into photography. So we got her a camera, and she literally has shown up for every practice, every lift, every team function, and she takes pictures. And she's gotten, the pictures weren't very good the first few times, but she's gotten a lot better. But the funniest thing is all of my knuckleheads will DM her asking for their pics at the end of each week.
Yeah.
And finally she said, Dad, I'm just giving you a link to that week's thing, and they can go in and get them. I'm not responding with pictures directly to everybody.
But that's, I mean, it sounds like it's something that she started to fall in love with.
I think so. I think so. She certainly, you know, I want to see her get back into basketball and softball when she gets healthy, but, you know, somebody already offered her to do their senior pictures. They asked if she'd do the senior pictures. I don't know that I'd have her do my kids' senior pictures, but, you know, maybe she's cheap enough.
Juliana, my company just turned 11 years old, and if you need any help in your price plan and making sure these people are compensating you, we'll work that out, okay? You're welcome. So let's get into rapid fire, Coach. And I got to tell you this before we get started. You know, honestly, you've been here in Liverpool for just a little while, but there's things that you enjoy doing in your life. I do what I love what I do, and it's because of the people, which you've heard me say to the guys.
Sure.
Walking in here and talking with you off the air, which is why we started a little bit after 6 o'clock, I can honestly tell you in a short amount of time, you're one of my favorite people to talk to.
I think the feeling is mutual.
I appreciate
Thank
that
you
very much. So let's play rapid fire.
We got it.
You got the first question.
All right. Now you
See you, Seth. Thank you. Have a good night.
You graduated high school, you said, in 2003.
2003.
So I'm not sure how you're going to answer this.
20 years ago.
I'm not sure how you're going to answer this.
So weird.
LeBron or MJ?
Michael Jordan.
All right. Thank you.
Without doubt.
Thank you. Okay, we're good.
He
We're
can
good.
fly. LeBron loves to talk about LeBron. I hope Bronny's okay, and I hope the whole family's okay. And let me say that first and foremost. LeBron James wears 23 because of what? And he made Space Jam 2 because of what?
Yep.
So if he was the best, why is he copying the best? That's how I look at it. And he didn't have to play in an NBA where more than half the teams were good. He's playing in an NBA where there's like 2 or 3 teams.
Yeah.
So,
and they could put you on your butt.
yeah.
Back in
So,
the day.
yeah. Back in the day, Jordan didn't buy anybody. He played against them and he beat them.
That's right.
All right, Coach. Well, you said you're not, once you get into football season, you're not really, overly watching the NFL. Do you have a favorite sport
Favorite sport?
to watch? It's part of my question.
You know, I like the baseball, basketball, football when they're in season.
Okay.
And I'm one of the guys that can actually watch an NBA game in the regular season and appreciate what the Golden State Warriors do and the way they move without the ball and the way they shoot and those things. I mean, obviously, I think I'm probably the most drawn to football.
Okay.
Especially since every so often, it happens a lot now, but you see a team run a play that you just hadn't seen. You're like, let me jot that down and just see if we can find a way to work that into what we're doing, because that's pretty good. So it's almost certainly football, but in season, I like playoffs. I like watching environments. I like we watched last year when Aaron Judge hit his record-breaking home run, and Juliana danced all over the house and screamed. And we like those kinds of things. But certainly, if I had to pick one, it's football.
So favorite football, favorite baseball, favorite basketball teams professionally is part of that question.
Okay. Football, it's weird. I was a Giants fan growing up. Then I got into fantasy football, and I started rooting for players instead of teams. And then I got into coaching, and I kind of stopped watching it altogether because I'm doing film on Sundays.
Yeah.
So I don't really have one. What I like is good quarterback play. I like innovative offensive play. Obviously, I like the Chiefs. I liked what Belichick and Brady did when they were together.
Yeah.
Basketball, I like Golden State a lot, and baseball, I've always been a Yankees fan.
Yeah. I mean, it's typical Italian, right?
Of course.
Got to be a Yankee fan.
Of course.
Okay. What's your second one for me?
So let me ask you're a Yankee fan?
So I'm actually a Diamondback, but I have a soft spot for the Yankees because of my grandfather and my dad. So I don't root against the Yankees unless they're playing the Diamondbacks, which almost never happens except for 2001.
Except for the World Series.
Yeah, except for the World Series.
Okay. Favorite baseball player and why?
Oh, boy. Favorite baseball player right now? I would have to say...
No, of all time. Could be anything.
Of all time, Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson, probably my favorite pitcher. I love Tino Martinez. Love Derek Jeter. But if I had to pick right now, I would say, I know this might sound like it's an easy answer, but Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani, what they've done for the game is remarkable.
Yep.
Aaron Judge changes the entire Yankees when he's out there, and Shohei Ohtani there may never be another baseball player like him ever.
I agree.
So, I mean, there's a reason why there's the Ohtani rule now, where if you have the universal DH, but if you have Ohtani, he can still bat, which is crazy. I wonder where he's going to be.
There's really only been one player like him before.
What would you say?
It's Babe Ruth. I mean, he's the only
and
one
that's
that.
The thing is, I think he was better than Babe because Babe wasn't a great pitcher. So that's why I say what I say. All right. Okay. I'd probably say Shohei right now. Okay. Coach. All right, Coach, we talked about this off the air. You're taking me to Italy.
Okay.
We can only pick 2 cities to go to. Where are we going?
All right. I mean, if you've never been there before, you have to see Rome.
Okay. We're
I
going
mean,
to Rome.
you have to see Rome. But honestly, it's a toss-up between the Amalfi Coast and Sicily.
Okay. Amalfi Coast and Sicily. Why?
I like the water. I like being near the water. I like seafood, and that's primarily what's served in those areas.
Yeah.
Rome. I say Rome because of all the history there, and you got to see it. You got to see it once, and you got to do it. But I would say either Sicily or the Amalfi Coast.
Okay, fair enough. You're gonna get a bonus one here, Coach. You got one more. I got one more.
All right. Who's your dream interview? Who would you like to interview that you haven't?
Ooh, if I could talk to anybody. I'm gonna give you a few. Derek Jeter, Mike Tyson.
Tyson.
Boy. Derek Jeter, Mike Tyson, Damon Stoudemire, my favorite Raptor of all time. And this is how small my world is, and this is how great God is. When I was a little kid, I wrote a letter to Damon Stoudemire, never got anything back. I've covered the ACC for 10 years now. Of anywhere that Damon Stoudemire could have been a head coach, he gets hired at Georgia Tech in the ACC. So I will have a very real life, better than not opportunity that I will be interviewing my favorite player of all time, Damon Stoudemire, this year or by March.
That's awesome.
Which is crazy. That I jumped up and down and screamed in my kitchen. I mean, I don't know if I've ever done that for an opportunity like that. So that was a couple months ago. So I definitely say Damon's going to be on that list. All right, Coach. You saw my Guardians of the Galaxy shirt.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about Disney a little bit. If you and I were going to Disney tomorrow,
Yep.
what 3 rides are we going on and where are we eating?
All right, so we're going to eat at the 50s Cafe in Hollywood
Prime Time,
Studios.
okay.
Prime Time 50s Cafe.
Yep. I worked at Sci-Fi. I ran their dining room.
We've been there. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Rides. I don't know what they're. Are we going Current or Splash Mountain?
Yeah, it's closed for
I know.
refurbishment.
No,
but yeah,
I think they're changing it. Actually.
they are changing it.
Tower Terror for sure.
Okay.
And then what do you think, Juliana? Aerosmith.
Yeah, that one was closed down too because they may be taking Aerosmith out of it.
Well, if we haven't, when my kids were younger, we went a lot, and now that they're older and playing sports, you can't go during school breaks.
Yeah.
Then they play travel in the summer, so we haven't been there in a number of years, and
We need to go.
we haven't done Avatar yet. We haven't done. I think they got a Star Wars one, the Guardians of the Galaxy one. We haven't done any of those,
Guardians is the best.
and that's in Epcot.
Yep. Expedition Everest is my favorite.
Everest
has
is
been
on
my
that list
favorite.
too.
Love that ride.
Yep.
But Guardians, I think, is taken number 1 now.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, Coach Sindoni, myself, Dan Tortora, this has been a Liverpool Warriors football special kickoff into the 2023 season. Coach, thank you as always for everything.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you very much. And we look forward to you going out and supporting the Warriors right down the road and coming here to Avicolli's 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool. You're going to have to fight me.